The court is in session.
Welcome to WROL broadcast. I am 8-Man. With me today we have the tier list group. Burger,
I looked at Punchline earlier.
What's up?
And I think she is
Hawkeye.
also
Hey guys.
Loot,
interesting.
Hey guys.
and M4.
Hello,
I'm
hello.
going to take her out.
And we are discussing the... What is it? Wait, is it today? Yeah, February tier list. And we are going to get right
I
into
like
it.
this
But
skin
first we are just basking in. Talon came out 9 minutes ago. So we're all discussing what we want to
So
do
this
with
is
him.
what I want to.
I'm gonna take him up. I think to like L3. That's my plan.
This is
Burger,
what I
what
want
are you going to today?
Well, are we talking about what we want to do with them? Is this PG
Today.
or
No,
rated?
just today.
This is
Oh, okay.
sure.
So today I'll probably go L5, maybe RB1.
Chance that high-powered
Nice.
startups. I can't
Depends
find the award.
how froggy I get.
Hawkeye, are you
Wait,
taking him
how
up
is
today?
that duty? Did you?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna take him up to L3 and
Did he
hopefully have the
refresh?
self-control to not take him up further than that.
Yeah, it's gonna be the hard part.
Alright,
but-
I'm gonna show you.
Just keep tapping. It doesn't matter. Like you see your credit card statement in a month. It's cool.
I want to take.
Yeah, but
this.
if this month has
This
all
might be
10
cool.
of those
Alright.
stupid Rebirth
So let's
Crystal
switch
sales,
over.
They won't,
to
though.
Punchline.
They won't. There's no way.
They won't do that.
I don't know. I
I mean, they know even the whaliest of whales can handle that.
yeah, but I think they want to gauge our limits.
Let's kind of see how we can get.
There's
their
no
credit card.
reason to gauge my limit. My limit is I'm not doing it.
Yeah, but I don't have your self-control. I don't think M4 does either. M4, did you break and get all Supergirl?
I refuse to answer that question.
I do.
I didn't. I stopped at $99.
M4 was trying to convince me not to get all of them because he wants to pass me again in Rebirth Toons.
Yeah, I got all of them too, and I already had her ready to go RB4. So now she can go RB5 also.
I have all the shards. That's the problem with Supergirl, that I didn't want to get all of them. Actually didn't. I stopped at 99. But we'll see about the next one. I wanted to see how much, because if another one could, they're going to do all 10, they're going to have to do that sale like every 3 days. So we'll see soon if they're doing all of them.
Like, they didn't do the Cassie Kane one last month at all, so... And that's like the second or third time they've done that where the sale's been loaded and they didn't run it.
Yeah, I did all of the ones last month, but
It's because they're probably just trolling everybody that's out there that's trying to crack the code.
yeah, I blame the boy. So let's get into the tier list. Let's start with the Toon of the Month, and I think it's going to be universal, but we'll see if anyone has anything other than Superman, who is definitely my vote, because I used him on almost every single team. Burger, did you concur, or are you voting somebody different?
So if I look at who I use the most in Siege, I think helped me the most, and yes, Superman. But if I just look at like the actual tunes that were reworked or done that month, hands down Adam.
Ugh, ugh, sorry, I almost threw up.
Were you blowing kisses right there?
Yeah, if I looked at the tune that died the most on my teams, it definitely would be Adam. I rate him the #1 death tune of Siege. Hawkeye, how about you?
I mean, obviously Superman was probably the tune of the month. If you look at it from just the new tunes and the reworks and the bonus tunes, I would probably have to give it to Jessie. She saved my tail several times in Siege where after I'd lost a couple of tunes, she'd finally been able to get the ball rolling, and she was just untouchable. So it saved me from completely losing a few matches. And as always, you know, she's the fastest tune in the Siege, so she can enable Lex the quickest. So she'd probably be, for the bonus tunes, tune of the month.
Except for when you kept bringing out Wally. Seems like every time I ran into Hawkeye's team, he had Wally rolling.
That was only for like the first week and a half, and then M4 convinced me to gear. I think he mostly convinced me to gear because he just was tired of having to face my Wally.
Yeah, I was too. I puckered up a little bit every time that happened.
How about you, Luke?
Wally West.
Oh wow, okay, that was a different one.
Well, I don't use Superman currently. He's L5. I haven't used Superman. First time I used Superman since his rework was today.
You're really missing out.
What do you think?
Like, he hits pretty hard.
Yeah, he wrecks.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to spend 50 tokens on him tonight.
Nice. You have all the shards for him?
Oh, are you kidding? I have like, I don't know, close to 10,000.
Oh, cool.
With Superman?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
It's ridiculous.
So you're ready
Wow.
for like RB8 then?
Yeah. I am. I'm ready.
M4, how about you?
Jesse. I'm going with Jesse.
See, when we get into Jessie, I liked her. I think she's very good, but behind Adam, she was my Toon that was the hardest to keep alive because Superman could just blast her into oblivion sometimes. And I don't use Lex because mine's only L5, so I didn't find her as useful as you guys did. I actually use Naomi way more than Jessie, but we'll get into them in a little bit. So Superman takes the cake. He won out of the group. Moving on to the first Toon, which is Arsenal, who I think it looks like we all gave him a B except for Hawkeye. He definitely was vastly improved. I think he's a high B, solid character. Just debuff Toons don't seem to do super great. Hawkeye, if you want to start, you...
Well, he was a Toon again who he's really kind of plug and play, and you could put him into any team and he's going to make the team better. He didn't really need any help to get set up. The reset on his 2 was clutch for me several times throughout the month. So to me, not needing any help to set up, that's kind of what differentiates A and B. So went with A.
Gotcha.
I'll go next because I want to
Okay.
I have an opposing view to Hawkeyes. I think after the first turn, he kind of sucks. The turn meter down is great for avoiding Aquaman, but if you really want to use his full kit, he needs a lot of help. He's not going to evade. He needs, and the sad part is all of his good teammates are mostly Reds. Cassandra Cain, Nightwing. So you get those extra pops. So I couldn't give him a higher than a B because of that. So
Well, he also hits really hard on his basic. His basic can one-shot blues with ease at L5.
but if that's his redeeming qualities, so many other Reds would do it better. Don't you think?
Yeah, that's why I kind of look at it. Like if I grade somebody as a B, which I graded him as a B, as you guys can see, he's good Toon, but there's others that do things better.
Yeah, that's kind of my feeling. Luke, do you have any other thoughts on him?
No, I mean, I think I was being generous by giving him a B. I think he's terrible. He's useless for me. I mean, but I was also playing in a lower tier than you guys. You guys were all like facing the same kind of teams. I was facing all of the richer teams, like totally different than you guys.
It wasn't that different in the
Not
top
just
Horrible.
teams.
Like, horrible. He does nothing. You can't use him against Aquaman. He's just trash. So, I mean, he does a couple cool things, but overall, I think he's really bad. I don't even think he's like his rework is even all that better.
Well, you could use him against Aquaman. You just couldn't pick Aquaman because he only did the turn meter on one character.
Well, you can't do turn meter down Doesn't Aquaman punish you for using Terminator down on anybody?
Yeah, no, it's only if it's on Aquaman.
But the problem is against Aquaman teams though is that he's not going to crit him, and he's not going to take him out. So
he's very weak, and every time I used him for whatever reason, Jesse on the other team just punched him out.
Yeah.
But then again, I had the exact same problem with Adam, so we'll see.
Yeah, it was pretty. I mean, I didn't use him a lot. He was probably one of my lesser. I didn't use him much. I only used him on a handful of teams personally. So it looks like we're in agreement on a B. Next up, we have my favorite character, Adam. So I'll start so you guys can rebut me. I waffled between a B and a C. I think I would give him a B. I don't see what all the hype is about, personally. Everybody thinks he's a Spectre counter. He really isn't. Spectre just stuns him, removes all his buffs, and then he sits there like a dope. And he's pretty good at... I like his call assist. I like him if the other team buffs heavily because he can ramp up pretty quick. But he seems to lose his strength ups pretty fast. Like, what are they, only 1 or 2 turns? Because
I think it's 2 turns.
And then he has evasion, which he never dodges, so that's pretty much a useless skill. He's scary on defense because he can hit pretty hard, but I don't know. I don't see what all the hype is about. I like Peacemaker 100 times better for dealing with Spectre. Every time I used him in Siege, literally every single match he died. He always seems to get hit by something, and it doesn't matter if it's red or green, he dies. So, whoever wants to take him next.
I'll go.
All right, go ahead, Luke.
I completely agree with you. I gave him a B, and I think that's being very generous. My Adam dies every single match, literally every match. He can't stay alive. I think I'd have, if maybe at high rebirth, he would be quite good, but his survivability at L5 is really terrible. His 2 is not bad, but I don't think it removes enough debuffs. I think it should have been higher. His 3 for me never really hits hard, and I don't know. I don't see what you guys see in him. Maybe that's it. Like, he doesn't do that stuff for me. He doesn't do anything great.
Yeah, the debuff removal is actually the only thing I really liked.
I think it's not high enough.
But there's a lot of call assist tunes, so that doesn't really excite me that much.
Like, if his debuff was, I don't know how many he removes, but if it were like double, I think that'd be good.
He does 5.
Okay, well, maybe not even double, maybe 8 or something like that.
5's pretty good. I mean, it's a lot of debuffs,
but not on like a heavy bleeders.
He might have been more useful in this siege coming up.
Maybe.
Yeah, so you guys know how I feel. I took him RB4. He was my RB4 Toon of the month. When I look at it, I mean, he's pretty fast. So to answer your Spectre thing, like, he is able to start hitting people pretty quickly. His 2 that has the call assist that's calling out on it, then potential for call.
But I actually think that being fast is a detriment because he goes before the other team a lot of times, and then you don't have any buffs, and he can't kill Spectre without buffs.
So, so it just depends, right? Like, a lot of people had Jesse on their team this siege, or if they, tried to bring Martian Manhunter or anybody, like, there's a lot of tunes add buffs at the start. So I don't think that's that crazy that somebody would have it. But, I mean, again, RB4 solves a lot of stuff. So, but I really don't have any issues, handling RB5 Spectres at all.
Yeah, I
And-
bet
but
he
again,
is a
like,
lot better to higher rebirth.
I think at RB4 he's probably pretty good.
Yeah, no, but like when you look at like everything he does, I mean, he's, call assist, ignoring shields, ignoring awareness, some turn meter up in there, evasion. Like I mean, his kit is pretty solid. Um, and he is one of like a handful of tunes in the game that can handle the the only S plus tier we have, which is Spectre.
Come
Considering
on,
everything
he's
else.
S plus plus plus.
There you go. Sorry.
Burger's right. He does so much, and usually when you have a kit that's that scattered, it doesn't work. But for him, it actually works pretty well. Originally, I had him a B. One of the things that kind of had me bump him up a bit was on defense, he's a nightmare to deal with. I know typically we're going to look at tunes on offense, but when you have a tune specifically that hurts you on defense, I think that should be taken into account for their grade.
I agree with you. Adam is frightful to fight.
Superman takes care of him really well, so I didn't think he was too bad, but early on he was bad before I started using Superman in so many matches. But all my high rebirths are typically green, so does help too. M4, what were your thoughts?
I think he's pretty good. His only problem is he's super squishy. And also our biggest problem is that we try to slot him in a siege where there are really very few. Actually, there isn't any defensive tunes, right? We try to hide him behind Superman. And if for some reason Jessica Cruz sneezes, he's dead.
Let me ask you a question about Superman that confused me in this siege. Sometimes, and it didn't happen all the time, but sometimes the match would start and Superman would just punch everyone on my team.
It's because of his passive. It's not guaranteed. Let me pull up the percentage. I think it's 70 or something. Let me double check. And I think they deliberately did that to make sure he's not even crazier. So yeah, 75% he does the All right, 50% chance to use the basic. All right. So the reason he punches after is so he doesn't do it like what's her name? Artemis does, where she punches turn 0.
But he ignores Superman's taunt when he does that.
That's the bug. But
okay,
he's cocking it and it's like holding it in, like, put me in, coach. As soon as somebody takes a turn, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, because he'll
That
just
is-
completely ignore my taunters and almost always Adam is his target. So he immediately
Unfortunately,
dies.
yes. Unfortunately, yes. That's the buggy part, but I don't mind it because I use him a lot. So, but it also works against you. Superman is like crazy.
All right, so it looks like he landed on A. Just gear him with caution, because yours may end up like mine.
No, he's actually very good. If you use him outside of siege bonus, like hide him behind the Barda, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a bad tune. He's very squishy, so you gotta...
He's not as bad as Hate Mail describes him, so go. Guys, go gear him.
Next up, we have Jessie Quick. Came out pretty good. I also waffled on B or A with her. I think for the average public, she's probably an A. My Jessie doesn't dodge, so I give her a B. She also has the same problem Adam has, where she's pretty darn squishy. Otherwise, really solid character. Really like her otherwise. I hate evasion characters, so that's saying a lot. Burger,
I have
you
the
also
same
gave her a
problem as
B.
you. Mine doesn't dodge.
Burger,
Yeah, so when I did it, like, so she's physical striker, but then whenever, like, you look at like others that are in there, like, I don't know if I would say that she's up there with like Wally or Impulse, and stuff like that. And I mean, she is pretty squishy once somebody gets their hands on her. And so, like, I don't know. And like, I liked her. I used her a ton this siege, but to me, like, just day to day, like, if I looked at her, like, I wouldn't say she's going to naturally make everybody better. It's around her, so I just said she'd be a B.
Fair enough. M4.
She's A to me. Ever since she got fixed, you just need to let her take a couple turns, and then after that, she's a turn meter machine, and then she gives your team. She evades. You just need to let her stack them. So you just need to protect her for the first 2 turns, and then after that, if the enemy doesn't have can't miss, it's over. It's literally over. You're never gonna hit her. She's gonna steal all your buffs, and then she gets stronger and stronger with those permanent crit damage up, permanent speed up. She'll just take over if you don't plan for her.
She's probably really
Uh,
good in raids too.
Oh yeah, yeah. And how I use her sometimes is I use her with Donna Troy, and her low cooldown 2 becomes 0. You can just spam it, and then of course she's faster. All of your other tunes are unhittable, even Donna Troy. So I am high on Jessie. I'm almost no, she's not quite S tier, but she's really close to me. If she can survive on her own the first 2 turns, she'd be an easy S.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with M4. You know, if she can just survive long enough to get going, she's pretty much unstoppable. If you don't bring anyone to that has can't miss, she's gonna win the match. I know a few times during Siege she caught me off guard. I thought I could get to her quicker and I couldn't. So she's kind of like Adam. She was high B for me, and I gave her the push to A just because of what she can do on defense.
Luke, bring her home.
Well, she is very good. She makes sure. I like what she does with her giving evasions to the team. So I do think she's useful, and she does work really well with Lex. But my Jessie doesn't dodge ever, so she gets knocked out like very frequently. So because of that, I think I gave her a B. I don't remember. No, actually, I gave her an A. I was generous.
All right.
Good team support.
She ends as an A. Now we'll move on to somebody who's slightly less good. And Luke, why don't you kick us off with Jessica Cruz as the lowest voter?
I think I put her in the trash tier.
You gave her a
Did
C.
I?
You gave.
I gave.
someone
Well,
else
it's close enough. I can't use her. To me, she's not even usable. She's terrible. I don't know. When she first got reworked, I feel like she was pretty good. I don't know what happened, but I tried using her in this siege. Horrible, like so bad. So I don't really know how to describe her other than I think she's just trash. She does nothing for me.
Hawkeye, what do you think?
She was really close to hitting B tier or C tier for me. I put her as a B. I even if it was a heavy red siege, there were so many Supermans in the top 20, and she just gets wrecked by Superman. He just punches right through her shields. I mean, I had one match where she was completely overshielded, overhealed, full health bar, and Superman killed her with 2 shots. Just boom, boom. And I kind of had to stop playing for a second. I was like, what just happened? I want to say it was probably Burger RB4 Superman that did that to me. So thanks for that, Burger. I appreciate you.
I'll talk to him about it. We'll address it.
I appreciate it. Just lay off the other owls. That's what you need to tell them.
I mean, go ahead, finish your thought.
I was just going to say that, I just think that it wasn't the best setup for her, so I didn't penalize her too much. I just felt that it wasn't the right siege for her.
I can't believe we had her in A tier before.
Yeah, I mean, like, when I look at it, like, for Siege, like, a lot of what she does good, like, you're waiting on one of your teammates to die. like her passive, like of her getting death immunity and turn meter up and all that other stuff, you're just sitting there basically hoping that one of your teammates dies to get that. And so, I mean, I don't know, like she's squishy. After you killed one of her teammates and she's on defense, like you kind of get worried a little bit once you saw her start to gear up to like hit somebody. But outside of that, like, really it's not I don't think she's that great.
M4, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to interject with Hawkeye's statement where she died to a double punch from Superman, which is understandable. Very few Toons are going to stand after being punched twice by Supes. Mine dies to Jessica. Not Jessica, Jessie quick.
Yeah.
And I was like, because the problem is, all right, Supes get stunned. So you're forced to purge with the taunt, and then she's gonna taunt, and then Jessie would just like punch her, and it was like she just died. She had shields. So that's why I bumped her down to a B, because she just dies. She's supposed to taunt, but yeah, like Burger said, it's only good when someone on your team dies. She's decent on the other side though, because Atom dies to Jessica. I hate these two Toons. Why do they have to have named Jessie and Jessica? Anyway, so on defense, she's decent. Annoying even. But yeah, I think she needs to be downvoted to a B.
I would have gave her a C, and the only reason I didn't was because of the intellect downs. And that's still very useful.
That's a
There's
pretty good
not
one.
a lot of Toons that give heavy intellect downs. So, otherwise, her damage is pretty low. She's very squishy. And she doesn't really do anything else for the team. So, she's barely a B in my opinion. But I agree with the B vote. So that's what she ends at. Next up, we have Naomi, and I will start this one because I shocked myself greatly with the fact that I actually really, really like her, and almost took her to RB5 for a brief moment there, and talked myself out of it because I have so many. If she wasn't green, I would have done it, but I really like her. She does a lot more than I expected. Her damage is pretty solid. Her stun happens almost every single time. And she can, she ignores awareness on one of her moves, right?
She does.
Okay, yeah. I can't remember which one it was, but she ignores
True.
awareness on one of her moves. That's useful. And then her taunt, which at first I really didn't like. I don't know if I just have weird good RNG with her, but she always seems to have death immunity when I need her taunt whenever I use her basic. So it saved me a ton of times at Siege. I ended up using her almost every single match for the last couple of days. She was safe to use most of the time. So I actually gave her an A. I think she's a low A, high B, but I actually like her a lot more than I thought. Burger, you are the only other one with her geared, right? None of you other guys.
Yeah, so I changed my answer to A also, but so I actually like her really similar to Yara, where she's going to hit hard. I think at high rebirth, like she can just go out there and nuke a field. Of anybody that you need to go after. Kit's actually pretty strong. The only thing, I mean, she was a little squishy, and I think having like the tank, designation, like I don't know that I would necessarily like agree with that, but her one adding the taunt, and I saw it a lot, like being with Adam, because there would be times where he would call a sister, and it kind of throws off, and then you kind of shift to how can I try to protect her, and what can I do right then? So. But yeah, no, she absolutely hits hard. I agree with you. Like it seemed like her 2 was stunning nonstop. And one thing that really helped me, there was a match where I thought that I could get to Dove really fast, and I couldn't. And so it was Naomi's out of turn, well, not her out of turn, but the the additional chance to deal half damage to a random enemy, that wasn't missing. So every time I would hit somebody, Dove was still getting hit, even though she had crazy amount of stack on her, or evasion on her. And so I was able to finally whittle her down. It took about 2 hours, but I was able to finally get take her out. So overall, I mean, I like the kit. I really love the character a lot. I wish she was hitting a little bit harder, but I think at high rebirth she could just nuke a field, especially reds and everything on there. So
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. She's. I was really torn between A and B, but I think she edges into the A category, just because she does a lot of good stuff, and she's. I mean, she's a lot better character than I originally thought when I first started using her. So, I don't know. She surprised me greatly. The biggest problem we have is there's just so many good greens, and it's hard to justify it. But I don't know. I thought she was good. Moving on to somebody who's not as good, and that would be Siren. Luke, why don't you take her away?
Siren, back the truck up!
M4, can I ask you a quick question before Luke goes on his tangent? Why won't this thing let me put point, colon, and then numbers on any of these cells except for the top ones?
Sounds like a user error. What do you want to do?
Okay, look, I put 30.15, and then it...
do the decimals over. Let's see. This is
There you go. I see the colon.
Yeah.
It does, I don't know, the top one didn't do it, and then I did 26.50, and then it made some weird number. Oh, it did it that time.
You do a decimal over? Yeah.
Are you doing a colon or a...
Yeah, I'm just doing regular colon. And it just, like, it was giving me like 40 numbers, and then it would just get rid of the first number. It was doing all kinds of weird stuff.
I'll fix it. Somebody. By somebody, I mean you. Probably messed it up. All right, try it again.
Okay. This is for our listeners.
I accidentally
See, look,
bought
I did 26.50, and it did 2.50.
I accidentally bought 100 more Talon frags after L5. Should I just take them up RB1?
I think you should.
Yes.
Yes.
Simple answer. Yes.
Oh no, I didn't farm physical gear. I hope I have enough. I usually do, but...
Oh no. Someone didn't do his homework.
And there's 2 physical tunes this month. Crap.
4. Well, you probably already have Hush in
Yeah,
them.
I got the other 2 already done. But...
I didn't have Hush done.
I usually, if I'm gonna do it, I was like, oh, I'll do it during raids, because they give me something to do while I'm sitting there smashing the buttons like a monkey. It's usually only the gear 2 gears that
I hate this. I'm up to over 3,000 Hush fragments.
You know, that means what you gotta do this month.
Okay, well, the cells aren't that important, so let's get back to the podcast before we
I was gonna say, can we include this in the video form?
Oh, I'm
You guys just
leaving
find
it. We're gonna lose like 50% of our listeners right now. So, Luke, Siren, continue your rant.
Trash. She does nothing right. She literally does nothing right, and she's squishy as hell. You can't... And most teams out there have Terra. So her bleeding thing just doesn't really matter. I don't know. I really have nothing fun or good to say about her. She sucks. Throw that in the garbage.
All right, hold on. Let me mark 30.
Oh.
33 loot.
Dumb.
All right, Luke. You're making me actually have to edit. So,
You should just leave it in. See how it goes.
I can't, because the way I have YouTube
You're gonna
set
list...
up.
Yeah.
Oh,
gonna
I
get
only have
demonetized.
56 gears for gear 2.
Oh no.
I am like so short. It takes so long to farm it in the nodes.
It's actually surprisingly cheap just to purchase it.
It is?
I am really
Yeah,
happy
I
that I
usually
got
just buy it.
that one Talon frag. That's nice.
You mean what part is cheap to just buy it?
The gears.
It's not cheap, but it's time
Like, if you
efficient. It's got
just
good
buy it.
value as far as not spending your time farming it when there's not an event going for it.
So you mean when you just click upgrade and it says, does it cost
Just
this many
buy.
gems?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That one?
Yeah, like it's not a great deal, but rather than either A, wait till physical gear day, or B, farm it from the chapters, it's not as overly grossly priced as I seem to remember it being.
Okay.
I just farm it from the chapters. Find one of which the one you can read, not the legendary, but the other one.
I only buy it when the
Keep going.
mission's not available. Like if I want it right away and I can't get it till like tomorrow, I'll just buy it.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, this one, I'm only on like gear 7 and it says 467 gold just to do one of them. I mean, granted that's
That's not
not
a
a ton,
lot.
but that's more than I was expecting. When I can just hit the, I don't know. Anyway, back. This podcast is like completely off the rails here.
So anyway, back to Siren.
Siren.
I put her at C. I really don't think that this siege did her any favors with the other bonus tunes in it. A lot of reds. I'm a little worried that come next month we may have to come back and revisit her if we drop her too far as well, just because
No,
Talon should
throw her in
be
the trash.
reopening. Talon's going to open up a lot for debuff teams. So that's one reason why I didn't go all the way to the trash, and I left her at C.
See, I didn't really think she was that bad. I actually used her a lot in this siege, and I mean she's squishy, especially with a big grouping of reds, but there was so many teams that were green heavy, and she still does high damage. Her bleed, she stacks a lot of bleeds, and then once you get the bleeds going, she's one of those tunes that actually does evade for me. So I left her at a B for that reason. I didn't think she was bad at all. M4, you agree?
Yeah, she's not that bad. It's just that you can't bring her to every match, and you really need to plan for her because she's kind of like Jessie, but worse. You really need to get those bleeds before you can get her evading. So she's a slow starter, but once you get her going, she's actually quite decent.
Burger, you're the tiebreaker. B or C?
Oh, C. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if there's a single time I looked at her on the other team and said, "Oh no, here she comes." And so, I mean, I guess the one thing having for her, she doesn't need a lot of people really helping her out to get going. She can do a lot on her own, but I mean, she just doesn't. Damage is weak, and there's so many ways to handle her. There's never a problem.
All right. It looks like she dropped to a C. And
See ya.
Hawkeye, you might be right though. She might be coming back to a B or an A later after we have crazy bleeds. Let's move this puppy along a little bit. Dove, we all still have her as an A. I don't think much changed. Does anybody have any comments about her that you would like to interject?
I forgot how good she was until I started using her again in the siege.
Yeah, I liked her. She's pretty solid.
She was great.
Yeah.
Really awesome.
I've always liked Hawk and Dove, just comic-wise, show, everything. I came real close to RB5 in both of them just for fun, but I don't see myself using them outside of Siege. Dove does dodge. That's what I like about her. A rare evasion character that actually evades. Any other comments?
That's because she has such a huge stack.
Yeah. Before we move on, looks like we are on Hawk. Burger, you had a C. Looks like the rest of us put B. What are your thoughts, Burger?
I mean, like, Kit's okay. You know, I don't know. Like, I just don't see. I mean, to me, like, if I'm gonna get a lot with him, like, I need to throw him with Dove, and you know, I just don't. There's nothing with him that I'm just like excited about or worried about if I see him on the other team.
You know, actually, you changed my mind. I'm gonna vote C too. He's good, but he's not great. He's not real good. I think he'd be one of those characters who's pretty solid at a high rebirth, but he just doesn't. I mean, he stuns and he does the buff immunity, but yeah, I guess he is.
Now I'm torn.
I'm torn.
Because
I see your B, but I look at
I-
Siren and I'm like, he's better than Siren. I mean, Siren's
No.
better than he is, so I can't give him a B if Siren's a C. I think we're gonna get crucified for Siren. But,
Yeah, the problem here is that
Why? She's terrible.
a lot of people love her.
Well, then a lot of people are wrong.
But I can't give him
Do
a B
they
if I give
even
Siren a C.
play the game?
If we give Siren a C, I have a hard time giving him a B. Put you that way. All right, M4. What are your thoughts? Sorry.
so I geared him for this because he can stun, he can debuff with immune, buff immune, but
He's
the
got
few
some
times that I
balance.
used him, yes, he gets a turn out and then that's it. He gets one turn.
Yes.
Pretty much. And he does nothing else. So now I'm torn whether he's a B or a C. If you come in and do one thing, you have a full kit and you only do one move, you're probably a C. You're damn it, fine. I'll bump him down to a C. He was pretty
Hawk's a
useless to me.
C? I don't even have him geared.
Well, now he's a
Is he
C.
really a C?
Yeah, after hearing everything and then my own experience, yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's a high C, low B type of character. You can make it. I could see an argument for either side, but I think if we're gonna bump Siren
Yeah.
down, he needs to come down too.
Yeah, he needs call assist or some turn meter to make him take turns.
I can't
But
believe.
yeah, he needs a lot of help.
I can't
Or
believe I
find
didn't
C,
farm.
I think.
Man, I don't want to have to do this with Punchline too. It takes so long. Maybe it is worth paying the gems. That's so many. It's gonna be like 30,000 gems.
Is it? Oof.
Yeah. I mean, is it really worth 30,000 gems? I mean, I could do it the old-fashioned way. It just takes so long. But I want to have them. But we're doing the Burger
That's
Shack
right.
episode. Otherwise, I'd leave
That was
Punchline.
900 siege energy
Yeah.
or raid energy.
I was like, what?
900 raid energy.
But I'm gonna have to do it because I want to play with Punchline. If I'm gonna take them like L something, now.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
physical
now I'm out
showcase
of
wasn't before.
now I'm out of level 3 ones. It's 5,500 for 55 of them.
Oof, that's... I just farm
Kinda
PvE.
funny.
Why is physical so late in the week?
It's not.
It always
It's
is.
the same as
Every time I'm out of physical, it's like Monday, and then I gotta wait till Friday. If I want to wait. So I'm not gonna.
That sounds like failure to prepare. So
I thought I had them. I usually always have them. I just did this. It feels like the other month. We've had a lot of red tunes recently, haven't we?
yeah.
This raid, I'm gonna farm all of the gears to like where I could gear like 5 people each.
I actually bumped Hawk down to C2. I forgot that he has a move that if Dove is not on the team, he just doesn't have a move. So it's
Yeah.
passive.
Yeah, he needs. He really does.
So if you're only going to have 4 attacks, I think you kind of have to be a C for 4 powers.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right, C he is. Let's move on to a character that I tell you, I almost feel like we should probably get fired from this exercise for giving Yara Flor a B when she came out. I mean, that's just how she made it through 5 of us as a B is just dreadful.
What did I give her? I was
don't
curious.
think you
about
were
that.
here then.
Yeah, I'm going to step away from this and say I wasn't involved yet.
Yeah, you weren't involved. Either
I
one of
didn't
you.
have her geared at the time.
Maybe that's why there's been some changes in this group.
Wait,
I
let's
think it
see
might
who
have
she
been
came out
exclusively
with.
up to you, hey now.
Well, in my defense, I shouldn't have graded her, and maybe I didn't. I don't
Oh,
remember.
I know why. I know why I hate.
We didn't have her
Look.
geared.
No, we used her. The thing. Oh, maybe. No, I remember having her. The problem is she came out with Aquaman and Doctor Poison.
That's right.
She
Dr.
typically
Poison.
doesn't take. She typically doesn't take a turn. She just dies to Doctor Poison.
Yeah.
And then when she gets a turn, Aquaman is there. Nobody dies. But
Yeah.
now that you're using her outside of that forced comp on us, you're seeing her value.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem with certain sieges in the grade, is that if the siege, depending on how the siege is set up, you may not be able to use the character at all. So and I didn't gear her until like I don't think I even used her until raids almost. So
Oh, you might be right. Oh, you're right. I may not have.
I used her for the raid.
yeah.
That's all.
So
Yeah, I geared her
we
after.
voted on her and we didn't know what we were talking about. We used her like 3 times in Wraith, probably against Harley Quinn, and then we're like, oh, she stinks. So,
I still haven't used her. Is she good?
she's amazing. She is a blue
Yeah.
Dr. Poison. In fact, I voted her S tier. And I think I will.
Really?
She's my next RB5 without question the day she gets a sale.
The only reason I went with A is because she does have a pretty low health pool, which, obviously RBing her will help out with. But, at just L5, I think she's probably an A, but she's definitely someone who gets over that hump when she's rebirthed.
Yeah, she's a low S high A type of character, but at RB5, she's absolutely going to be S tier. She obliterates greens. Obliterates them.
She's what I use for all the bot teams in Siege. I just throw her in there with 3 bonus and let her nuke everybody. Especially Supergirl and whatchamacallit, Arcus teams.
Yeah, even at L5, she almost always kills the greens. And then she does high damage to the blues. So I'm imagining your RB4 probably kills blues and greens and hurts reds.
Oh, yeah.
M4, you agree with A?
Yeah, I think she's fine as an A.
All right. It looks like she has moved into the A tier. Deservedly so. And let's talk about another one that needs to be adjusted. And that is Wonder Girl. And Burger, you left her an S. You were the only one.
Mm-hmm. So I still use her quite a bit. I think she does a lot of stuff really well. I know she, obviously as other tunes have come out and become stronger, she's not, as strong like as she used to be, or as like just where she just dominates everybody. But she absolutely, like you look at everything she does, out of turn attacks that can still wipe out most greens if she gets a hold of them a couple times. Strength up, she's quick. If anybody enrages her, she doesn't miss. So, like if she is going against a Harley and Batgirl team and they happen to enrage her, like it's not gonna, she can uppercut them and it's not gonna have to worry about getting hit back. I use her against Spectre all the time because, as he starts to get his intelligence ups and awareness, like she just sits there and keeps stripping them away like crazy. And so I still use her pretty regularly. Now, granted, mine is RB4, so I'm sure if somebody has like an L5 one, she's still really squishy. But all she needs is just some slight stat boosts, and I think she's dominant again. But when you look at like the other tunes that she's up there with, like in her class, like it's like her and Supergirl, right? And Supergirl melts reds, with her out of turn AoE, and she does the same thing kind of with greens. So
yeah, I've been hesitant to reduce her down for a long time, but I started saying, okay, because I haven't used her in a long, long time, and then that made me think, well, is she really an S tier that I don't even think to reach for her? So it's like, oh, well, maybe I should start using her against all these Terra teams, because Terra teams are everywhere, and automatically gets the whip going. I noticed two problems with her. One, at L5, she doesn't kill anyone anymore, or hardly. And then two, my Wonder Girl doesn't like to whip very much. She's lazy with her whip. So then I started thinking, well, and she's kind of squishy.
She knows you're married.
Yeah. And she's kind of squishy. She's still a great character, but I just don't feel like she reaches that S tier level anymore, at least at L5.
I agree. I think Burger, you're jaded. I have her RB5 and I use her, but when I face an L5 Wonder Girl, I just like, oh, sure. I still bring Terra. I have no problem. I still bring Soups. That's okay. But yeah, she's S tier at RB5, but at L5, she doesn't do her job very well anymore. She doesn't obliterate even the greens. She has a hard time doing it.
My Wonder Girl doesn't kill anything.
And then also that enrage thing you mentioned, Burger, it's great when she keeps it, but she purges it off. It would have been great if she can keep the enrage, so she hits a little harder, but she's like, yeah, I'm not mad anymore. I'll chill here. So I think she's A at L5 and then S tier at RB 3, 4, or 5.
Loot.
Look, she's still really great. I just don't think she's S tier anymore. I think she's still really good. I mean, there's no reason not to use her. I think she really suffers from needing a stat boost.
Yeah, she's
I think
power
that's
cut.
really all she needs to be great again is a stat boost. And I think that anybody that says otherwise really should probably take a look at it again. She gets destroyed by Reds, just absolutely annihilated. So, I mean, she still whips screens. I mean, there's no question about it, but she's just really kind of squishy. That's all. She's not S tier anymore. I mean, she's out of the category. If she gets even just a stat boost and no rework, she's probably S tier again.
Hawkeye, final thoughts?
Well, I was going to say one of the things that has also gone kind of crazy in the game is the amount of buffs that characters stack. It's only grown larger and larger since Wonder Girl's heyday. So even now when she whips, you're still leaving Spectre with stacks and stacks of intelligence. You really, a lot of times you aren't dealing damage because, you might be hitting a Nightwing or a Spectre, or, Wally might be on the other team giving awarenesses out to people. So I just think that she's lost a bit of effectiveness just due to how buff-heavy the game has got, which is odd because she was introduced as a counter to heavy buffers, but I think it's just continued to grow to where she just doesn't knock enough of them off fast enough.
Speaking of power creep, the new reworks are annoyingly high-powered. And then it's going to just create a bigger and bigger gap between the new release tunes and the older ones.
You're just mad because 2D has the highest powered team in the game, M4.
I am not going to confirm or deny that.
I mean, I have a really simple solution to, I think, make the majority of the tunes in the game usable. Just do a stat pass.
You know what they really should do, actually?
That's all they need to do.
Is do Gear 12, and then you could rebalance everyone, like they did at Gear 11.
That would be a good idea.
It could.
I'll be an 11.5er.
There's so many tunes now, it would probably take them a year just to even figure that out.
I mean, right now I'm just happy we have a working calendar, so you guys are thinking maybe a little bit too big.
Oh my god, this is taking so long. I've spent at least 10,000 gold already trying to do it. I don't think I'm going to be able to do Punchline. I'm just going to have to wait until Friday.
First world problem.
I'm buying so much energy.
Just stop over dinner while you watch
I wanted
Netflix.
to be able to talk about Punchline, have her geared, but she can wait till Friday. I'll let Burger talk about her. I
So-
just can't do it.
If I'm gonna gear them, so I have them
Are you,
geared
are
now.
you going to join us on Wednesday as well?
If it's the same time, probably I can.
I think so. Are you going to do a Hawkeye, or what's your plan?
Sounds like it might be a little bit crowded, so I might sit this one out.
Well,
I
I mean,
I'm
M4's only
late.
doing L1.
I'm
so
sorry,
it's
guys.
kinda-
I gotta go.
He's going full peasant. All right, Luke.
See you later, Luke.
M4 is going
Forgot
full
I
peasant
was-
Hawkeye,
I
so we might need
stopped
somebody
eating.
else.
Well, if I'm available,
Okay.
I'll be there.
You know what the annoying thing is? Talon needs his first 3 legendaries. Super annoying.
You should probably take him to L3 then.
Yeah, I mean, it is
Sounds
talent.
like it. I mean, maybe just L5.
No, no, that's a little too rich for him.
Come on, you gotta do the full burger. Everybody's gotta do the full burger at least once.
I'm not going to RB1. That's...
Yeah.
Oh, it's only the full
Wait.
burger's only L5. For
He's
both.
actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I've been
I
playing
use him
with
in Red Alerts, his AoE. It's really hard.
Yeah,
Wait, Burger, didn't you do RB2 once? Who was it?
I did. Yeah.
Who was it?
Well, twice. Azrael and damn, who was the second one?
Dark side?
Was it Darkseid? It might have been.
I really feel like Talon should go higher than any other Toon.
Yeah.
Oh god. So, the only thing that sucks is like honestly, like most of the time I do RB1 on them and then they suck. Like Impulse, I was
Oh,
like,
no.
oh yeah, he's gonna be badass, and he doesn't suck, but he's not worth that much.
Well, yeah, Black Flash. Well, now it's actually better. He's better.
Yeah.
Play him with Jessie. She unlocks his gates, and then he's so much better.
One day I'll finish having my character to L5 or Gear 11. I'm still doing gears. I've been doing it this entire time. And
Well,
I keep
I'm
having to go
kicking
back and buy
myself.
more energy. I've
Because I took Hush up to L5, and then that made it to where I'm missing 30,000 legendary essence right now in order to take Punchline up to L5.
oh man.
No.
Yeah.
How do you not?
Why don't
I
we?
have.
Maybe
you
we're gonna
not
have to
have
push back the
stopped?
Burger Shack a little bit because
How do you not have millions of LE?
Because like I blow them all every month. I had to catch up to you guys for my roster.
yeah. Remember,
Oh yeah, you were not the burger before the outs. You just became the burger.
Yeah. I had
after
like
the outs.
one. I think I had like one RB4 before I joined the Owls.
jeez. Well,
Such a bad influence.
I'm so annoyed with this.
You know what actually really sucks actually is Huntress. I actually had a bunch of bot teams on my board. Her out of turn is because Talon gets the energy, gets the life back, or has the chance to get life back. Her out of turn keeps hitting whenever his life's low and makes it to where he's throws heal immunity on him, and he's dying.
Oh, Huntress goes first.
Yep. So, but outside
yeah,
of that,
because it happens
he's holding up well.
He also looks pretty darn good. I'm looking at him right now. Whoa.
Have you tried him against Terra yet?
I have
I
not. I've just been using bot teams so far.
'Cause I really want to know how rather his 3 works the way it's intended to.
Cool. Yeah, I'll find them. I'm just this last match. I'm board clear, so
I was
Sure,
going
I'll-
to say, it's going to be really hard to find a Terra team, though, so
yeah.
don't beat yourself up too
You're
much.
gonna no, it'd be the one time it's hard. The one every time. Every time I want to test something like that, that's what happens. In fact, when I first got Peacemaker, I got a new board. It was the first time I've ever seen a board without a Spectre. I mean, normally I can find 9 of 10, but that was the one time it ever was hard.
Okay, so far 0 for 2, 0 for 3.
Check your log. Check your log. You might
Oh yeah,
have one.
that's true.
Yeah, I think I might be on there, actually, with the Terra team.
All right.
I just beat
Finally, Gear
somebody.
11. Good God.
Okay, now time to do Punchline.
No, I'm not doing Punchline. I'm just waiting. I can't do it. It'll be like 40,000 gold to do her because I have no gear now.
Well, that's what you get for not planning.
You're You're supposed to warn me on this kind of stuff. That's what you
Just click buy now and don't do the math on how much gold you're spending. Come on.
I don't really care about Punchline, to be honest with you. So I'll just wait until Friday.
Do not let Moomin hear you say that. Cut this out.
I mean, she looks cool. But I figure, when is her event? Is it Thursday?
Let's see. 3 days, was it?
4 days from now.
Yep. Yeah, so it'll be Friday.
Yeah, then I'll just test her at L5.
I'm kind of interested in what the bad and the cat is going to be, rather. How many crystals we'll get from it.
Yeah, I hope it's a good amount.
We had an event similar to this, and they gave, like, I think 1 or 2. Do you remember that? There's, like, a second event. I forgot what it was for.
Was it when they did the Gotham Knights along with the...
Yeah, that might be it. But I remember having this, and then we were so super excited, and it was like, okay. But any token is
I
welcome.
just need to give 7. If it gives 7, I'll be happy.
No, actually, he's actually hitting Spectre pretty freaking hard.
And I like
accidentally create a
he
Spectre
removes all
counter?
the awareness, right? Because all immunities, it's all awareness.
Let's see.
No, they stopped.
I don't think so.
Yeah, immunities and awareness are different.
Oh, okay.
But he is retaliating. But, damn it. I just lost. But he did hit Spectre pretty hard. I'll post this video.
I'm buying my shards now. Why don't they just do buy all for anything?
Yeah, I agree. Like all raid energy.
Yeah, just buy. Let us do buy times 10 or something. You would think,
Or a slider or something.
well,
Yeah.
you would think it would help them make bigger sales because people would just not think about it. Be like, oh crap, I just bought 10.
That's
It's because
That
nobody
is
that's in
funny.
charge of the game
Yep.
likes to make money.
I mean, Hawkeye, that would be like instantaneously be Hawkeye. Buy 10. Oh, I accidentally bought 3,000 extra shards.
Ouch. It just sprays everywhere.
Oh crap. I don't know how many packs I just bought at this. I was just sitting there hitting buy over and over thinking I needed to do that.
What were you buying?
This new character.
Okay. Okay, guys. Well, I'm gonna run.
Good to go. I forgot I
Okay.
was still recording. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
I'll see you guys later.
Later.
Alright, later, guys.
Hey everyone, it's Tootytron. Thank you for listening to WROL Broadcasts. If you like the show, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/WROL Broadcasts. You guys think if I go out of my way next siege to lose to hate a bunch, that he might send me those dirty socks of his? I hope so.